Everybody should feel comfortable with their financial advisor. Everybody should have complete confidence in their financial advisor, confidence in that they'll do a good job, confidence in that whatever I tell my financial advisor, it's going to be okay.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of CBS Spotlight. If you're here by mistake, you are in the right place now. I am Eric Alvarado, and I am here along with my co-host, Mr. Ted Hikes and Mr. Jack Elder. And we are your friendly guys through this world of insurance and wealth management. And today on our show, we have a couple of special guests. Mr. Jamie McGill, Senior Financial Advisor at Christopher Street, as well as Mr. Mark Lingenfelter, Director of Employee and Client Experience, also from Christopher Street. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hi, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Great to be here.
Gentlemen, we're very excited for you both to be here today. And I think the way we'd love to start out is just kind of tell us the origin story of Christopher Street. How did you get started? Who are you as an organization?
Sure, happy to. So putting that succinctly, we are a financial advisory firm in New York City. We do financial planning and investment management. And spoiler alert, here comes the differentiator. We do that specifically by specializing in the needs of the LGBTQ plus community. So to understand that specialty, it's helpful to understand our origin story. So with your permission, I'm gonna tell you the tale.
Please.
Yeah.
Love to hear.
I'm going to, with that specialty of the LGBTQ plus community, I'm going to make this a little gayer and reference the Golden Girls and channel my inner Sophia.
Love it.
Picture it, 1981, New York City. We're running around in our colorless Oldsmobiles. We're blasting and dancing to Betty Davis Eyes. We are excited because we've gone to the movies and we've seen a preview of this new Harrison Ford picture called Raiders of the Lost Ark. And as we're doing this downtown in New York City on Wall Street at Merrill Lynch, there is a financial advisor hard at work. And his name is Robert Casaletto. And Robert has an idea or philosophy, a belief about financial planning. And his belief is that everybody should feel comfortable with their financial advisor. Everybody should have complete confidence in their financial advisor, confidence in that they'll do a good job, confidence in that whatever I tell my financial advisor, it's going to be okay. He believes that the relationship between a financial advisor and a client is an intimate affair, appropriately intimate, just disclosing that. So that, financial advisors should be sympathetic to their clients' needs. And when we look at all of those things together, and he did use the word sympathetic, but I think what we're saying here is Robert believes that financial advisors should be empathetic to their clients. And if you are listening to this, if you're a financial advisor listening to this, you're saying, yeah, duh, of course. If you're a client listening to this, you're thinking, yeah, the people I work with, I have confidence in them. I trust them. I think they're doing a good job. However, within that philosophy, Robert identified a problem. And the problem was that was not the case for the LGBTQ plus community. Remember, this is 1981. Ronald Reagan is president. I'm not offering commentary, I'm just stating facts. And so Robert sets out to solve that problem. And he solves that problem on June 5th, 1981, by creating a company called Christopher Street Financial. He calls it Christopher Street Financial after Christopher Street, which is a street here in New York City's West Village. It is the home of the Stonewall Inn, which is where in 1969, I won't say it was the kickoff point to the gay liberation movement, but really like the...
Should point.
Go ahead. What did you say, Jamie?
Inflection point.
Yes. And so just 12 years after that happened, here he is creating a company to serve the unique financial planning needs of the LGBTQ plus community. Coincidentally, on June 5th, 1981, something else happens. Something he had no idea was going to happen.
I turned 10 years old on that day. That's not
Is that your birthday?
Yeah. I don't think that did though.
I was 8, you were 10. We were totally seeing Raiders of the Lost Ark. So something else happens on that day. And that thing that happened was in the CDC's weekly morbidity and mortality report, it was the first mention of this rare, was it a pneumonia? What was this? This thought to be pneumonia found in 5 men in LA who weeks earlier or months earlier were seemingly healthy. And if you haven't put that together, that is eventually what would come to be known as the AIDS crisis or the AIDS virus. So really, Robert Casaletto founded Christopher Street Financial not a moment too soon. The gay community, were about to enter an era of stigma, of people saying, my gosh, I don't know what this disease is, how I get it. I don't want to work with gay people. And he really was he founded it at the right time. There's an article that's in the mid 80s where there's a financial advisor from Christopher Street, I think it's 84, 85, that's quoted as saying, like, we were shuffling papers around. We were losing on average 1 client a week.
Wow.
Just like, think about that. Like, think about your book of business and like that turnover, that rate. And so Robert Casaletto, or Bob, as he was known to his friends, Christopher Street was going on. Eventually, in 1996, Bob did pass away from complications due to HIV. But before passing away, he set up a charitable remainder trust. And there are 2 things that he did in that trust I want to talk about. One, he made sure that his surviving mother was well provided for. So I just tell you that to let you know that Robert Casaletto was the good gay son, just like Jamie Mee. And the second thing that he did was he left Christopher Street Financial to the ACLU's Gay and Lesbian Project. He left the business to a nonprofit. September of 97, so that existed that way for a year, being owned by the ACLU. 28 years ago, 4 partners purchased the firm from the ACLU. And one of those partners was Jennifer Hatch, who is still today at Christopher Street Financial. She is the president. She is a senior financial advisor. She is still very much involved in the company. She is still here. The other 3 partners have moved on, but Jen is still here. And that era from 97 till today, really Jen led that era to building Christopher Street Financial to being a holistic practice, financial planning and investment management, really moving it towards being an ensemble practice, a team-based approach to servicing our clients, and also the idea that clients are clients of the firm. They're not clients of any one individual that works here. And then, to continue the story, in 2023, we were acquired by Blue Spring Wealth Partners. But why that acquisition was so helpful to us was, they were cool with us focusing on the gay, on the LGBTQ plus community. They saw the value in that. They weren't going to ask us to remove that or take that away from us. And the second thing was it just provided additional resources so that we could focus on the areas of expertise that we wanted to do well. So let some of the operations stuff, let some of the HR things, the administration side, investment side, get support and help in that. But most importantly for our clients, and this is actually the first thing I probably should have led with when I said this, was that acquisition provided for the legacy of Christopher Street Financial beyond the timeline of any one employee that works here. Bob had the smart idea to leave it to the ACLU, and it could have died there. Jen and her 4 partners came along and purchased the firm, and it continued. And now with the Blue Spring acquisition, being a Blue Spring partner, we're setting for we can come back on this podcast in 5 years, maybe some work done, and still be able to tell you the next chapter of the story. It's ongoing. So today, Christopher Street Financial is 17 employees. That includes 8 financial advisors, 3 client service people, a paraplanner, a business analyst, an admin, office manager, CEO, and me. I think I got everybody in that list. I get very nervous of leaving people out. Our niche client base is the LGBTQ plus community. That our clients, 65% of our clients identify as members of the community, 35% identify as allies. And that actually is reflective of the employees that work here at Christopher Street Financial. Not all of our employees identify as members of the community, but they all do identify as allies. And that's the story. That's it.
Cool story.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I think if you stack all the financial services plans or companies together and you say, what's your origin story? One, they don't have one. right? They're just like, well, I started at Merrill. I, didn't want to be W-2, so I hung my own shingle. Great. That is that person's life, their passion. It's awesome. But you guys have like a real story where, with Betty Davis Eyes playing in the background.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
We even have a soundtrack.
Yeah. That was like number one on the top 40 forever. Great song.
Yeah.
Great song.
Yeah.
And what's your, I want to remind you, because I don't know if you left it out on purpose or not, but what was your motto from the 80s?
Oh, so yeah. So there was this advertising campaign where the slogan was gay money, straight advice. And I have to tell you, when I first started here at 10 years ago, when I heard that, it was eye roll inducing to me. I'm like, oh my God, really? But as I began researching it, I found out something about that campaign. And that was Christopher Street used to advertise primarily in gay media networks, just local newspapers, The Advocate, etc. And in 1984, the New York Times put out a financial supplement in their November edition of one of the weekly, Sunday in November. And Christopher Street purchased an ad in that section. It was the first time that Christopher Street advertised in mainstream media. And there's this, I think it's a kind of a funny quote of Bob's where he said, we realized that there were affluent gay men who might read the New York Times. I'm like, yeah, of course. But I also, the thing about it was that it was actually, in a way, an act of protest, because the New York Times had a policy that they would not use the word gay. They would use the word homosexual. And so Christopher Street Financial was like, I know what we'll do. We'll put it in our ad. And the slogan is, like, there it was in this large sans serif font, gay money, comma, straight advice. And that stuck with us for a while. There was actually, the New York Times did an article about that ad, and they did say, they did use the word gay because they had used the word gay, but whatever. But that was kind of, and we talk about that in a very funny way today. It's not our slogan anymore, but just what was eye roll inducing, I realized was actually a moment of saying, we'll take care of that. Yeah.
Right. I like it. It rolls off the tongue a lot better than homosexual money, straight.
Yeah, it really does.
Or homosexual money, heteronormative. Right. I cisgender advice. Like it just runs. I just like it. Yeah. And the double entendre with the word straight, right? Where you're just like.
Totally. Absolutely. Yeah.
Truth telling. Yeah. Love it.
Love the origin story. That's fantastic. I think, what do you think most traditional financial firms still get wrong about serving the LGBTQ plus community? And how do you guys approach it differently that differentiates you from those other firms and how they're doing it?
What we see time and time again is, what we usually call rainbow washing or pink washing, where a lot of firms, they try to make community transactional or seasonal. So Pride Month in June 1st, rainbow sticker goes on the window. June 30th, it comes down. They use the same PowerPoint slides that they did all year round, except they'll slap on the stock photo of the same sex couple. And it basically checks a marketing box for them. Okay, we celebrated Pride Month. We put a rainbow flag in our lobby. We're good. See you next year. So I just think it's very temporary, very transactional. For us, we do have the benefit of being in the community with our clients, and that just gives us the ability to have really candid conversations. Like Mark said, it's about the trust between you and your advisor who is in your community. Our empathy comes through in those conversations, just the understanding of the relationship, the understanding of the dynamic. I just think it boils down to authenticity.
You said that 65% of your clients are from the community, 35% are allies. Of the LGBTQ plus community, what are those clients? What do you think? And you service them every day. What do you feel like they're overestimating or not appreciating that's unique about their challenges and opportunities?
Yeah, many times in conversations with clients, it's talking about things like, planning for IVF services or adoption, setting up your estate plan for clients who may not have children, for single clients. And that obviously necessarily isn't a community thing, but, it's maybe just traditional estate planning, but not to the traditional family. And thinking more about the charitable giving side too. What nonprofits do you want to support in the community as well?
That's great.
Just the idea of leaving a legacy for a lot of childless couples is very different than obviously having heirs and just the interest in where do I want my money to go. There was go ahead.
I was just going to say, even topics about like estate planning, like for example, there's a lot of partners, trust and estates attorneys that we partner with in the community who really recommend, hey, when you're planning your estate, you're naming your spouse by name. You don't name your spouse because you want that double level of protection. So issues like that I think a lot of maybe people who are in the community might not appreciate.
There was one of the arguments that Bob made about clients not being out to their advisor was they were, this is actually on the advisor side, not the client side, but they were being sold more insurance than they needed because the financial advisor said, oh, you're a single guy. In 10 years, you're going to have a wife and 2.5 kids and a minivan. And so they were being sold way more insurance than they needed because the client didn't say, oh, I'm a gay man. That's not, and particularly in the mid 80s, because the idea of marriage equality was so far away that, so suitability was a really big topic, period.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense. That goes back to the openness, honesty, transparency. Without that, it doesn't matter where you're coming from. If you're not being straight with people, then you're not going to get where you need to go together. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So obviously, a lot of firms out there talk about holistic planning. At Christopher Street, that seems like an area of focus for you. What does that look like at Christopher Street, especially for families that maybe don't fit into that typical mold?
Yeah, we would argue that no plan and no family, regardless of sexual orientation, is typical. So, we're doing the planning based on every unique situation that comes our way. So with unique planning also comes building a unique team of support around the client as well. So we're really lucky to have some deep relationships with some great trust and estates attorneys who are in the community. 2 of them share office space with us. So that's been a great resource for us. We have great CPAs who are in the community and some allies as well. And we've also been increasing our partnership with Kestra Insurance Planning lately, which I've seen firsthand as an advisor how it's made our planning that much more holistic with conversations with clients about protection and risk management.
So, financial planning isn't just about money. We've talked about the holisticness of the planning that you guys are doing. It's not just about numbers, and it's about values and how you help your clients really align their values with their money and also their identity, and values, of course. How does that pertain, or is there a difference between, those clients who do identify and those that are allies, or is that even a relevant question? How does that work?
I'd say it's pretty similar for all of our clients who share the same values. So many of our conversations are just go beyond just dollars and cents. And we spend so much time talking about so many other things like charitable giving in the community, or, just spending a lot of time clarifying with them what is meaningful. And that's how it sometimes ties into socially responsible investing, setting up donor advised funds. So, as fiduciaries, we're always acting in their best interest, and it's just not simply about dollar maximization.
is there a percentage difference with you talked about the ESG? Is there a market difference? Like, do you guys do a lot more ESG than other firms, or do certain sectors of your client base?
The majority of our clients are definitely in the socially responsible investing ESG. I don't have a sense for if it's more of those who identify in the community who don't. A lot of people come to us because they share our values, so it's the majority, but not necessarily. Yeah.
Okay. It's not like the straight people are like oil and gas, and then
Correct. If I pull up a client's account and I don't see the name, I can't look at it and say, "Oh, this is a gay account. This is a straight account." Like,
okay. So there's no straight portfolio and gay portfolio. It's just meeting the clients where they're at.
It just depends. Many times we have clients who are fine with our core strategies and say, hey, I'll do my social impact through my donor advised fund and I'll personalize it myself.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Mark, thank you for laughing at my joke. I appreciate it.
Yeah, fine. I was actually like wondering what the marketing of that would look like. Like, this was a straight portfolio. This is the case. Jazz hand.
Yeah, right. Jazz hands on one side and then like oil refineries on the other,
Yeah.
Well, this has been a great conversation. I loved your history and the way you take care of your clients. And I guess the thought has occurred to me, we're living in let's say a political, socioeconomic environment that's in flux. And I think the rapidness of that flux has like increased so much. And I don't know if there's an end to it. And I guess my question that I'm wondering about is, what's the future of Christopher Street? The universe needed you, right? That origin story. Does the universe still need you? Are they going to need you in the future? Is kind of my question. What's the future of Christopher Street?
That question first came up to us with the passage of marriage equality, because prior to that, prior to getting marriage equality, the financial planning, the needs of the LGBT and unmarried couples was totally different, right? If Jamie, you might have to help me out with this, but if this is Jamie's worst nightmare, if Jamie and I were married and we're going to stop and start over. That's a question that we asked a lot. We questioned our relevancy with the passage of marriage equality because it made a really big shift in our specialty, going from planning for unmarried couples to then, hey, we actually do have the same rights of everyone else. And so we had thoughts around like, what is the future of Christopher Street Financial? And we believe that we are still relevant because we believe that we are empathetic towards people's needs in our community. We understand the people in our community at a level that people outside of our community may not understand. And I'm not saying that our allies I'm not discounting their abilities, but I mean, we're working in this office, this room, this team approach together. And I do think sometimes, like when I look at the future, to people in their 20s and 30s, it might not be as big a deal to say like, oh, I need to have a gay or lesbian identifying or queer identifying financial advisor. But I think what we're not going to lose is the idea that people will continue to want to work with companies that identify with their values. What does this company, I'm getting choked up about this. What does this company stand for? And we are unabashedly, we're not pulling back what we stand for. We are unabashedly serving the LGBTQ plus community. It's in our history. We're not going away. And, our charity, I'm going to tie this in, and that is we give back to the community. It's part of our charitable giving strategy. And there are corporations pulling out from supporting LGBTQ plus nonprofits because they do not want to have their name attached to those organizations. We, Christopher Street Financial, we are not stepping down. We are not making choices out of fear. We are going to be there for our community. We've been there for our community for 44 years. And we're not going away.
Remain the safe space we were founded to be.
Yeah. I just get very passionate about this topic and period.
Yeah. Well, your passion comes through. Thank you very much. The question that, I asked, I guess in the spirit of it was like, Christopher Street was needed in the past, and based on what you just said, it's still needed and it'll be needed in the future. But I got to say, you guys we've been working together for a while. You're the nicest people. You do great by your clients, and anybody who needs good financial advice from good people who are going to care about positive outcome for them, they'd be well served to connect with you guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you for those kind words, and thank you for this opportunity. It's been great to talk to the three of you today and to meet you and be here with you, telling that I love telling the story. Jamie loves me telling the story, Jamie. We're happy to be here and spread the word and answer questions about what makes it different or not different, which I think is really what we got to in the heart of this conversation.
Yeah,
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
This was a great opportunity. Thank you.
Great story. We are very excited to have you here. So thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get you back. Well, this has been a really fascinating and enlightening show. I really appreciate you guys jumping on and joining us today. Very, very, very much. Thank you for connecting. We really appreciate the time. As I mentioned, I guess, is there any last thoughts or comments that you guys have that you'd like to say at this point in time before we close out?
Hey, if you've stumbled on this podcast and you're a member of the LGBTQ plus community and you're looking to work with someone, like, we're here for you. Like, totally have the conversation.
Beautiful. Well, thank you guys very much. And again, for everyone out there, I'm Eric Alvarado, along with Mr. Ted Hikes and Mr. Jack Elder, for saying goodnight. So this has been our CBS Spotlight, our friendly conversation about insurance and wealth advising come together. Thank you very much for tuning in. And if you found this helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And
rate us 5 stars. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.